Hi guys, just got done watching 2005's Boy Eats Girl, and I like this film, but I felt it was a bit miscast, and I felt that the movie was a little bit slow. The comedy aspect was okay, but it was nothing to rave about, and the horror in my view was the same. It was more of a kind of teen romantic kind of horror comedy. Anyway, so basically the film stars Samantha Mumba as Jessica, who was totally miscasted because she really couldn't act in this movie, and she didn't feel like she had any passion for the character of Nathan, played by David Leon at all. And when she was moving about, it just felt sluggish to me. And then you had Taylor Murphy and Lawrence Kinlan as the two friends, Diggs and Henry. You had Sarah James, sorry, as Cheryl, Mark Huberman as Samson, Sarah Burke as Charlotte, Paul Reed as Shane, Jane Valentine as Glenda, and then you've got Connor Ryan as Kenneth. So basically the film starts out with Nathan and Diggs and Henry all talking because he drives Jessica home. And they go, when are you going to ask her out? Come on, when are you going to ask her out? And he goes, oh, no, I'm not sure. And they basically joke about one way she won't like you, the other way she'll have sex with you. And this film's set in Ireland. It's an Irish film. And it's alright. But anyway. So basically the next day at school, again, they're saying to him, you need to do this, you need to do that. So one night he's walking home and who does he see? He sees Jessica. She was going to the barn thing or the shed thing where they were going to meet, and he wasn't there, and it's raining. So Kenneth dries up. Now this is the boy in school who basically gets, sexual favours off of women because he convinces them to. So he pulls over and he says, oh, come on, Jessica, I'll pick you up. Come on, it's raining. I'll take you. I'm on the way past yours. So she gets in the car. And while he's driving on, he's going, can I see your breasts? I think we should get together, all that stuff. You know, the usual thing a man says when he wants to get in your panties. Yes. So they pull over and she drops something and she leans down. Well, Nathan sees Kenneth's car, and because Kenneth's going like this to the music, he thinks that when Jessica sits up, that she was giving him head. So he gets all upset about it. Now, this was a very controversial film for the next thing I'm going to talk about. And you're going to know why exactly when I say it. So he gets home, he drinks some alcohol, and he stands on the chair, pulls the bear out of the noose of a hanging noose, and basically stands on the chair and tightens it around his neck, leaning back and forth like this. Now, it's debatable whether anyone commits suicide or not, because when his mum gets home, he's trying to undo it. But his music's so loud, she goes, can you please turn that music off? And he can't hear her. So basically, she bashes the door open, and he's still got the noose on, so he ends up hanging and dying. So you're like, oh no, he's dead. He's dead. Oop, you killed your son. You killed your son. Bad mother alert. So earlier in the film, basically, so you know what's happening now, his mother basically finds that there's this book where you can bring people back to life. And she's warned to leave it alone. So when her son's dead, you see this kind of montage of her doing the ritual thing and him coming back. Now, I would have liked to have seen more detail of what she did to bring him back, but it was like a montage of, like quick edits of, like blood and the book and basically him laying there and stuff like that. So the next morning he wakes up and everything seems to be right as normal, except his pal in the skin. So he gets up and he's extremely thirsty. He's like, I need water, So his mum gives him lots of water and sends him on his way to school. So his affections for Jessica have gone. He starts staring at women like this, like. And you can tell, but it's not that he fancies them or anything. It's the taste. You can tell he's starting to feel that taste, what zombies want. They want skin. They want a bite. So basically, he ends up hearing this thing, apparently. Kenneth is talking to his friend in the toilets, his two friends, and he goes on about how Jessica took him home and they play strip poker, and she was going to do anything you wanted, which is all balls, which is all bullshit basically. And he gets angry and he hits the door, and the door comes flying off the hinges. And the funny thing about that scene was there was a boy behind it went, "Hi Nathan." So basically, things start getting funny. He ends up at a disco where Cheryl, the main bully's girlfriend, tries to go down on him. He doesn't get excited, so she thinks he's gay, and she goes. And as he's stumbling across, the boyfriend comes and starts kicking the crap out of him. Well, Nathan goes on with him and bites him. That's the start of this kind of zombie apocalypse kind of thing, which doesn't really make much sense because it's not really zombies per se, because they get hit in the head a lot. Like there's a big nail that goes in one's head, he doesn't die. So it was more of what I read was more that it was a pill got bites and got infected by something, you know, which kind of So slowly but surely they start getting all infected. And most of the time, the zombies, or whatever they are, the infested, I'm going to call them zombies anyway, they run and tackle people over and bite them most of the time. So it was like they're playing rugby or something. So basically, you've got Nathan and Diggs. They're two losers and they're friends with Nathan. And they're great. To be honest, they're a big part of what makes this film so fun. Their chemistry and the way they act is pretty good. The chemistry between Nathan and Jessica, to me, wasn't there. It felt false. It felt over the top. It felt like, oh, we've put these two people together. They've got to fall in love. It doesn't work to me. It would have been better if you had a more seasoned actress and someone who had more skills, basically. And then Samantha Mumba. Because I thought she was fantastic in Time Machine, from what I remember of it from years ago. I saw that in the cinema in 2002. That was years ago. But I can't remember so clearly. But I remember it was pretty good in that Guy Pearce. Now, carrying on with the story, basically Jessica's at her farm thing and she gets a call from them saying, go in the house, hide. So basically people get bitten, they run around, they end up in her house. Nathan turns up at her house too. And there's a great scene where Cheryl goes, help me. And one of the teachers goes by, an elderly one, and sticks her middle finger up at her and then crashes into a hedge of bushes and gets eaten by 5 zombies. That's great. I love that scene. I was in tears of laughter. So basically the movie goes along at a slow but decent pace. I felt that the story was okay, but it didn't really work completely. Like the zombie stuff doesn't happen till about 40 minutes into the movie, and this movie's only 75 minutes long. So, and it did work because obviously they were more silly than scary, the zombies. So right at the end, Samantha Mumba's character Jessica has this big massive tractor and she basically destroys all these people with it, like cuts them up and everything. And it is a good scene, but at the same time it wasn't, in my view. It was a really gory scene and it was really well done. But again, it just felt like Samantha Mumba was just doing what she was told. There was no kind of passion behind it. I know it sounds silly, but you want a bit of passion when you get killed. You know, most of the reason we like the killing of Day of the Dead with the main villain in it is because he says choke on it and he has a memorable death. There's passion in the actor's voice. You get what I'm saying? So basically, the mum finds out that the cure is getting bitten by this snake. And she throws it to Nathan and basically he kicks it down and he ends up with burning hay. And this is a spoiler, so I'm warning you right now, this is a spoiler. He ends up getting bitten by it anyway and then he falls down because he gets pulled down. Everybody thinks he's dead. And then basically comes out, drives up to him on the bike, drops down, goes, I want to ask you something, Jessica. She kisses him. The end of the film. So I felt that there was no real chemistry between them, to be honest. And there was more chemistry between Diggs and Henry than there was Nathan and Jessica, if you ask me. It just felt so false. There was plenty of gore in it near the end, plenty of violence, plenty of this. But to me, this movie was supposed to be a horror comedy. And the comedy was very hit and miss. More misses than hits. It also made me think of things like Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland, in the fact that they get it right, especially Shaun of the Dead, because that's a British film. That gets this kind of film correct and right and fantastic. The chemistry between the characters in that is fantastic. You know, especially Simon Pegg's character and his girlfriend and that. It's great. I liked it. And Nick Frost and Simon Pegg were fantastic in that movie. It had a great ending. This movie didn't have a great ending in my view. It just felt kind of like, oh, well, we're going to end it. Let's end it with a happy story because we're going to put the zombies in there because nobody's going to believe this relationship actually works. You know, and so I liked the movie, but I thought it had so many things wrong with it. Now, if I looked at it from a non-thinking point of view, non-story, just gore and just blood, I'd like it not as much, but then I probably still won't like it as much because it takes a while before it gets going. Now, each character does have their own little story, like Kenneth's the player, Nathan is shy around Jessica and is worried about asking her, but he seems like the type of boy that isn't that kind of shy person when he's not around her. Diggs and Henry are like the lovable losers, and I loved them. I thought they were fantastic. Cheryl was kind of like the slut of the school kind of thing, but you never see her naked. You never see anything that kind of refers to that other than her going down on Nathan and her saying jokes, but you know, about being a slut. And it was a good movie, but it just wasn't as good as it could have been. The potential was fantastic. The potential was there. But it just had the wrong character, well, some of the wrong characters, some of the wrong people playing the characters, and it also had the wrong pacing. The pacing should have been a little bit more up there, and it should have been a little bit more quicker, and it probably would have been a lot better, especially if they'd moved about more. So, yeah, that's basically my review of Boy Eats Girl from 2005. So I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and as always, if you haven't, please subscribe and let me know what you think of the movie below. So thanks for watching, guys. Take care and have a lovely day.